welcome to the first Game Buzz of 2013, and we've got to kick off this week's Game Buzz with some really sad news, because Ni no Kuni's been pushed back by a week.
Yeah, a week. We've waited freaking months for this. It's a week. We can wait another week.
Also, we're getting free stuff because of it, so actually...
Yeah, free DLC, because...
Although you're fine already, because you've got that lovely drippy plushie that's going to come with yours. It's going to be... You can hug it and it's all going to be fine. Right. It might take you into a magical world where you can save people. Maybe.
That'd be nice.
Perhaps. Anyway, yes, main stuff this week has all been about hardware. We thought we'd have to wait until E3 before we got any hardware. Well, any hint of new hardware. But no! Valve have surprised everyone this week by announcing Project Bigfoot, which is their version of the Steambox. Because we've got to clarify this, haven't we?
We do, because... But, a little while ago, just a few days ago, scant days ago, there were no Steam boxes. Now there are fucking loads of them.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Everyone, look, Steam boxes absolutely everywhere, except that there aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Are making them. Because this is the thing, yeah. Like, the Steambox, Steambox is a term that basically the media invented for... a box in your living room that would run Steam.
It's a good name, in fairness.
It's a good name. And it transpires that, in actual fact, Valve are making their own one, but that lots of other third parties are as well, such as the Xi3 Piston.
Yeah, such as, this really cool cubic form factor PC that was funded in part by Valve, designed for use around the big picture mode.
Are they going to have to do that every time?
For a while. We thought that was going to be the Steambox, but it's not. It's a Steambox.
It's a Steambox.
It's a Steambox, legally distinct from the Steambox, which won't be coming out in 2013. But when the actual Valve Steambox comes out, it will also have multiple models with varying specs, running Linux. Okay, it's an interesting situation to be sure.
Yeah, I mean, lots. It seemed from that interview that lots got announced, but actually very, very little got announced. I mean, we still don't know a huge amount about Project Bigfoot.
Yeah, there was a big fuss made over it. It was like, oh my god, yes, finally the Steambox, it exists. Valve can finally admit that there is something going on, which we haven't been able to properly confirm for ages since the rumours began. But everyone got excited. Yes, it's here, but we don't know much. Oh. But it's here.
There's more of a reveal it's sort of a reveal of admission that there will be an official reveal in the future. Although Newell and another Valve staffer has said that it won't be happening. Like, the reveal won't be happening this year.
No, but when it does, apparently we can expect 3 separate models though, sort of half decent, the one you probably should buy, and the performance model.
Yeah.
And 300, a very, very, very reasonable price of $300 was it quoted for the medium spec model?
For the mid-range models,
Yeah, I mean, whether that'll be mainly revolve around streaming, I don't know.
Well, that's
streaming from a base station. Or just a more powerful PC upstairs.
They've said that the better version, which is going to be the middle one, will have its own dedicated CPU and GPU. So, in theory, it should be able to power itself. As far as gaming goes, like the bottom end good one, which did I read that correctly, saying that it was going to be free? Saying it was going to be low, like free to very, very low cost.
Yeah, under $100.
But yeah, I mean,
sort of like the OnLive micro console, I'd imagine.
Yes, I mean that one, from what I understand, is that it's going to be streaming from a different unit elsewhere on the home network. So in my case, because this is actually really perfect for me. I've got my beast of a rig upstairs. I could have that as a central station and then use that as kind of like a bit of a server thing and have that communicating with a low-spec Steam box downstairs right by the TV. So I've got all the main components. I don't have to get the the better Steam boxes or the higher tiers, I can use that to power it and use one of the streaming units to access it downstairs. Which means that even people who have a gaming PC already can still kind of find a way into this ecosystem and get involved and basically give more money to Steam.
It does elegantly solve one of the issues we had with Steam Greenlight, which is it's all well and good to be able to play the PC in your lounge, but actually humping your tower up and down the stairs and disconnecting all the cables and then reconnecting everything is not it's just not convenient. I've got around that problem because I'm currently using an X51, which is actually very convenient. It's all HDMI.
Yeah.
But for most people, actually, this could be, if you've got a decent PC, it could be an inexpensive and viable alternative to loads of cabling or much more pricier wireless options.
Absolutely.
So it could be that very cheap model could be quite exciting. I just think that there are a few sort of hurdles that Valve are going to have to cross to get their full idea of the Steambox off the ground. Because
I think that's key.
Yeah.
Like in conveying the idea of the Steambox is going to be absolutely key because they're going to because there's no necessarily and I mentioned this in a comment on the post I wrote, the editorial I wrote a few days ago. I think it's going to come down to marketing because you've got to educate the consumer about the range and like the consumer choice when it comes to price points and stuff like that. Whereas Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, one console, one price, all these games, one system.
Yeah. And I think that the middle range one as well will also be setting almost a bit of a standard for PC gaming. Go on. Because obviously with consoles, you've got your set spec, and that's going to be it for 5, 6, 7 years or whatever the life of it is. Whereas PC has always been about constantly being updated, buying new parts, putting them in, things like that. And the middle range Steambox will set a set standard. So will that potentially make things easier, harder?
I agree with you because as much as anything, Steam are going to actually have to start certifying their games for this platform. It's no good if they're trying to make something that's as convenient or almost as convenient as a console. You can't have a situation where people are downloading games and finding that they'll need to run, say, beta drivers to get it to work, or that it won't be fully compatible with the hardware they've got in there, or they'll have to tinker around with INI files or God knows what. So they will have to. Steam have an almost totally hands-off policy when it comes to certification QA at the moment.
Yeah.
But that will have to change when they're bringing games over to Linux, which is the other major technical hurdle they have to go past. They're going to have to play the games. They're going to have to test out what settings they will run at on their mid-range Steambox, and then certify it properly or fail to certify it. And whether or not that would mean a little thing saying download this at your own risk, we can't guarantee this will run in your Steambox, or not putting it on the Steambox marketplace, I don't know. But that will go against all of Valve's philosophy regarding certification so far. And actually, I kind of think it'd be a good thing if they took a little bit more interest in certifying the stuff that goes up there, because like a lot of ATI owners, I was completely shafted by games like King Arthur 2 that came out. It was just like, nah. No, I'm not playing on that. Just stop that. So that's there are a lot of concerns there and a lot of fairly big changes that Valve are going to have to make in order to get this to work. And as Matt, you said, let alone start marketing the damn thing.
As well, like Linux being the core operating system for especially the low end models. I mean, Newell said you'll be able to install Windows on Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But that's not user. Well, I mean, that's not convenient.
No. Plus, surely you'd get rid of all of the Steam big screen related software in the process.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time, and I think that's why actually Valve have said, look, this isn't coming anytime soon.
No, and they need more than 38
so
games, don't they, that support for Linux? They need more than that. They have to have a good half or even more of the library they've got on the Steam store ready to go. Now, 38 games is not good enough.
You see, it has the potential to be massively sort of industry shaking, particularly when it comes to retail, and particularly when it comes to when are we going to make this digital revolution happen, blah, 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 blah. But it also has the potential to be a real damp squib if they don't get these things right. And I think timing's going to have a lot to do with it as well, because Microsoft and Sony, they're readying, like they're gearing up for a big summer. And if Valve aren't sort of dropping at least some news this summer, yeah.
Well, they're probably relying on Microsoft and Sony basically shooting themselves in the foot, I think, and coming out with the next generation and saying, right, guys, no pre-owned games. New releases will cost you 50 quid. No backwards compatibility. Loads and loads of user accounts you'll have to sign into. Insane DRM. And Valve be like, no, Steambox, mate. That's what you want. Get a Steambox. Get cheap games. Get play cheap games on your telly. You can do that here. Only a few of our games will probably use Securom, so I'm sure that's fine.
If they are indeed banking on Microsoft and Sony just sticking their heads in the sand and being completely useless, it's risky, but it's also quite believable in a way, precisely because the current console model is so very, very tied to physical software as well, and to those big chain retailers, especially in the States. I think there'd be a big backlash. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out, and it'll be interesting to see when we get any more clarification from Valve, because it's still quite vague. This
is Valve. If it's before the end of, if we get any confirmation before the next millennium, I'll be amazed. They'll bring it out and they'll say, look, we're going to launch it with. Oh, they could bring it out and say we'll launch it with a certified version of Half-Life 3. That'd be the thing to do. That's what I'd do if I was them.
That would be the thing to do. Thing is, I don't think Valve can afford to be as coy with a console as they usually are. I'm not necessarily sure they can.
They can't afford to just sit around and go.
They can't use Valve time.
Well, actually, I think that's a poor choice of words, because Valve can afford to do anything they fucking want.
Pretty much.
They have more money than Switzerland. Like they don't release, they don't release sales figures on Steam because they know that someone will try and declare war on them just to get their amazing huge heap of gold that they have from all those Steam sales and through almost monopolizing PC download sales. They have enough money to just do this for a laugh. They might just be doing this for fun.
They might just be doing it for a laugh.
They literally might be doing this just because they hate Windows 8. Neil hates Windows 8. It's just like, this will piss Microsoft off.
He really does. He really hates Windows 8.
I think the reason he hates Windows 8 is, the reason really he hates Windows 8 is because it costs quite a lot to license for hardware manufacturers, and he wants to mass produce a console /PC /set-top box /whatever the hell it is. So yeah, he wants something cheaper, and so he's using Linux, and that does nicely tie into the almost quite suspicious way that Valve suddenly were all about Linux a few months back, all about Linux. Saying, Linux is so great. We're all thinking,
is it
pretty good? It's pretty good.
Right,
but,
it's got a penguin.
Why are you doing this? We even had a few commenters on Pieces of Rose at the time going, I wonder if Steam, Valve are actually considering using it as the OS for their Steam box, because that would make this move make so much more sense. And that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Steam box.
But it might. It's also it's going to have some interesting controllers probably as well.
Biometrics.
Yes. So.
Well, you imagine that's only going to be with sort of large Bigfoot. That can't possibly be standard across the whole thing. I mean, is the controller going to be standardized? I don't know.
It's got to be. It's got to be, surely. Because otherwise you're going to have games that will, But
you're having consoles developed by third parties.
But surely you could. Surely you'd have to, because all these other third-party hardware manufacturers are bringing out their own Steam boxes. So I guess maybe they'll be compatible with Xbox 360 controllers, wired ones, maybe?
Yeah, it's possible.
Or they'll make their own controllers.
Give us clarity, Valve!
We do not have any information apart from it's happening. That's basically it.
Yeah. So yes, the Steam box. Bigfoot and the range of Steam boxes. That's
But yeah, that's just so not
just-
the only hardware that's been revealed this week.
No, there've been a couple of other interesting looking, scary looking, terrifyingly priced things
Well,
happening this week.
which hilarious thing are we going to talk about first? Do you want to do the nVidia Shield first?
I think we should. Chronologically, that is the first one we should tackle. I assume that everyone has seen it. It is the nVidia gaming thing, which is essentially going to be able to run Android games on the go using a controller which looks very similar to an Xbox controller, and then it's got a 5-inch touchscreen taped to it, I think.
Yes, it looks like it's sort of blue tacked onto the back, and it looks a little bit like one of those knockoff emulators or portable DVD players you can buy on eBay. From Hong
Well, that
Kong.
PS1 thing that clipped onto the back of it and
It looks like that, but with a really
worse.
really strange face buttons sort of hot glued to the front.
But yeah, they've got this thing, and it's apparently going to play the Android games, but it's also going to be able to stream PC games from any PC that's got a nVidia graphics card that's I think it's the 650X onwards, I think. It'll be able to stream from those to the handheld, so you can sit anywhere in your home and play them.
Wait. So yeah, but you can do that like
anywhere. Yeah.
Why would? But I don't understand why you wouldn't just sit at your PC and play.
That was my
use your
issue.
phone to play the Android games.
Yes.
And then.
Or just use Google Play.
And then if you were down on the television, you've got your handhelds there. If you want to play a dedicated handheld game, you'll have a 3DS XL there, and I don't get my head around this device. What I do think though is that perhaps it lends a little bit of credence to the rumors that the next generation of consoles have basically shafted nVidia. Because all of the rumors about the PS4 and the next Xbox suggest that they are going with ATI.
Probably for cost.
And AMD, sorry. For cost and performance and all manner of reasons. And nVidia are great, but I think the fact that they're actually rolling out their new hardware, an actual new hardware SKU, could be a little sort of statement that actually they're not going to be making mad royalties from console sales in the next generation.
Good
I think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, a number of the comments on the site have been about wanting to play Android games with twin sticks. There are already things out there that you can do that with.
The Ouya.
Well, the Ouya. No, the thing is, the Ouya is a dedicated console that will provide this for your home TV. But you can already get Bluetooth controllers for your phone, for your tablets. Where you just do it, and the whole streaming thing. Well, I hate to say it, but OnLive did this and failed.
Oh no, it's not streaming from a service that they provide.
No,
it's streaming from your computer.
On your PC.
Yeah, from your computer.
The same house as your handheld is, and you can just go up, and you'll have to go up.
That makes no sense.
You have to go up to your PC, sit down, turn it on, probably activate, run the freaking app as an administrator just to get it to work.
Almost certainly.
And then you're already sitting down. Your PC's right there. So why not have, if you really want to play something in front of the TV, why not just have a tablet and watch some TV on that? Or just have a laptop next to you watching TV on that, or just have a little telly up there and watch your TV on that. I don't understand. I don't need to play Hawken in the kitchen.
I suppose one of the things, when we were talking about the Vita and Gaikai and the possibility of beaming games from your PS3 to your Vita, and basically what the Wii U's doing now with the screen on the gamepad.
So remote play, basically.
Yeah, remote play. But the Shield isn't going to have any dedicated games.
No. Not at all. And
like Vita does, and it's not going to be Nintendo like the Wii U is, and you could just play your PC, which is there, or your laptop, which is portable, or it makes no sense.
Not at all. And they're saying that the Android games will come from the Google Play web store, but you can do that on your PC anyway.
And your phone.
Yeah. So basically, the moral of the story is no nVidia.
Bad nVidia.
nVidia.
Stop it, nVidia. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love new hardware. I really just like I like there's new stuff coming out. So if I see what, I may not be able to resist buying one. Only so
Yeah.
That feeling.
I mean, I own a whole bunch of various other strange sort of electronic gaming devices that have happened to catch my attention. Definitely no emulation consoles. Of course.
No.
None of those. Definitely not three of those. But the it looks kind of fun, but it also looks like one of the ugliest and most pointless devices that I've ever seen.
Really, really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it really does.
All the buttons are recessed, so you can, and the sticks are recessed, so you can fold the screen down. The two sticks are almost closer together than the PlayStation DualShocks, which I hate. And it's got the outward body design of the original Xbox control. What are they thinking? It's no.
But it's portable, Matt. It's portable. You can sit on the
It's
sofa.
kind of portable. It's a massive, fat, enormous clamshell.
Baggy jeans went out of fashion at the turn of the millennium, and like this, you can't fit that in your pocket.
Also, more to the point, the screen is the same size as the Vitas. Like, I don't understand what benefits that brings to anything at all, really. But I don't want to rag on it. I think it's kind of cute in its own adorable, ugly, misunderstood way.
Yeah.
I'm relating to it quite strongly, so we'll see. I've got quite a fat booty as well, so I think it could be. I don't know. I think it could be a massive, massive failure.
Let's leave Shield for a moment and move on to the Edge.
Yes, the Razer Edge.
Razer Edge, which is like PC tablet with controllers, sticks, and just bolted on.
Well, the thing is, we've known about this for a fair few months now. It used to be called Project Fiona when they first sort of revealed that they were working on it. Fiona. And what it basically is just a tablet stuffed with tech. Like, the base model is just a tablet, normal form factor tablet, but it is crammed with tech. It's got an Intel Core i7 CPU in there. It's got an nVidia GT 640M graphics card. Not a GTX, sadly, but it's a tablet, so that's kind of fair enough. It's got 8 gigs of RAM in there. It's got a sort of relatively small but probably very nippy solid state drive in there as well. And it will play games like, it's been certified with games like Skyrim and Dishonored, and it will play those at sort of, I think I've heard sort of medium to high settings being quoted at me. And yeah, the list goes on. You can buy a dock that comes with it that you can plonk it on, and it will become a console, and you can connect it to your PC, so it can, you can use it as a sort of living room PC if you want to. Then you can pick up and take on the move. It's got a massive, massive touchscreen. It's got a 10.1 inch capacitive touchscreen, which makes the Shield look even more shit than it already is.
You can turn it into a Wii U gamepad.
You can turn it into a Wii U gamepad with the sort of controller dock that bolts on the side, and you get 2 fairly comfortable looking outriggers on there, with triggers and your thumbsticks and your face buttons and a D-pad, and all for the very low price of $1,200.
Yay!
Yay!
Well, no. Let's be more specific about this. Like, the Pro Edition is $1,299.
Okay, $1,300.
$1,300.
Yeah, the basic is just under $1,000.
Literally just under.
Just under
$1,000. And we're able to play, what was it, Skyrim Dishonored at medium settings.
I think medium high settings. It depends on. I don't know what it depends on. We haven't been able to have a go at it yet, but it will run these games. And because the screen is a bit smaller than most monitors you've normally been playing it on, you can probably get away with running it on lower settings, and it'll still look good.
Yeah,
I would think. But that price. It's
a bit of a gap, and you don't get the peripherals with it. That's just the base unit. So if you want to have it for the dock, so you can turn it into a bit of a sort of like a living room PC, or have it as kind of like a laptop setup when you're on the go, you're going to be paying an extra couple of hundred.
I see this potentially being a bit of competition for the Surface Pro.
Yes, that's what it reminded me a lot.
Well, the Pro's
actually, the Surface will be under that.
When you take an exchange rate,
yeah,
because that's in dollars, the Pro is going to cost as far as we know, a fair bit of money. I mean, that thing's
They reckon it's
to
going to be
cost some
about
serious cash.
650 for the
that's
Pro.
650. That's 650 for the Pro. This will be the Pro edition. I guess will be just under $1,000, or depending on what the exchange rate is. And for the extra money, you're getting something that actually can run Skyrim and Dishonored, and that runs on Windows 8.
Yes.
So you're getting the same sort of OS. It is compatible with all PC games and applications, but you'll be getting some really meaty tech in there as well. So you could probably do a bit of work on it, and you can line it. You can line it out to your PC or whatever. So I don't know. I don't think this is necessarily. I think this is kind of a stopgap until just generally tablets are all this good.
Yeah.
Because that's basically the direction we're headed. But
because this is the thing, this is the thing. I mean, it's going to give you the full PC experience on a laptop, not a laptop, on a tablet, and that is something that we haven't necessarily had up until this point. You've had your very closed ecosystems with apps that you just press a few buttons, you download, and they work. But you can't tinker. You can actually tinker with this sort of tech. Like you'll have a full-blown PC in the palm of your hand, and that. I think they need to make it more affordable, but it's definitely the first right step, I think. I'm quite excited. One of the
first tablets that are really trying to... Because Apple succeeded so well because they took tablets which already existed as a very niche computing device and made it a mobile device.
Yes.
Like an iPhone. Razer have got to now go back the other way and say, no, this is legitimately a computing device. This is something that can do everything, that can replace. Because at that price, it will have to replace your PC, or at least getting a new one.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see what sort of uptake they get, and when they really get around to selling it as well. Because so far you can only register your interest on site, and there's a thing on site as well saying shipping only to US. So by the time they end up bringing this to Europe, or by the time retailers start shipping to Europe, I mean, whether those specs are going to impress anymore, I don't know. For a tablet, they will, but for that money, you can get... Well, for much less than that money, I got myself a all singing, all dancing, pretty excellent gaming rig. So, and a monitor. So, so that could be a problem.
But it's an interesting first step for them. I'm looking forward to seeing what they go with it.
Cool tech. It's just a really fun device. I really like the look of it. I like the look of it far more than the Shield.
Yeah.
I've seen burn victims that look better than the Shield.
Classy.
Oh, Matt.
So yeah, I'm not necessarily hugely sold on the Razer yet. I think, but I think you're right. I think it's certainly the direction that we're headed in terms of smaller, more powerful, more accessible PCs. And Windows 8 was born for that. That's the whole point of Windows 8.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see when it arrives, and if it ever arrives in this country. And the price point, I feel, will almost
probably
certainly be key.
Will be a deal breaker for everyone, would be my prediction at this stage.
Yeah.
One or two other little things from the news this week. Sony have turned around and said Vita sales at the low end of what they expected.
Yeah, and we all turned around and said, well, yeah,
you think?
Of course it is. You think? Good one, Sony. So, yeah. They have remained, Kazurai has remained positive and said, look, come on, guys, things can only get better from here. It's a slow start. You can't say whether or not it's been a success until 5 or 10 years down the line. And it's kind of got a point. But they really need to sell more units, and they need to announce more games.
And they need that price cut so bad.
They need that price cut. So, I mean, they sort of do, but you know what? You can... So many retailers and supermarkets even have been giving away Vitas over the last couple of months, like for really crazy prices with a bunch of games and memory sticks as well. But yeah, an official price cut across the board would be really good.
Yeah, I mean, we recently ran the Amazon one, which had the 3G model down below 180 with Uncharted for 15 quid. So yeah, for under 200 quid, you're getting Uncharted and a 3G model, which...
And like I've seen deals for the standard model much less than that with games included as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Sony stating the obvious. Well done, guys.
Thing is as well, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow. The only game on the horizon that I can see that I'm even remotely excited about is Media Molecules Tearaway.
Well, I guess there's Soul Sacrifice as well.
Mm.
But I mean, that's pretty much the definition of the word niche. So, and I like niche games. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's
not going to help sell consoles.
No, it's not exactly going to shift systems, is it? Speaking of tech as well, Microsoft caught me out today. Today being Thursday, by actually revealing that their ridiculous patent might actually be happening. Because last year they filed a patent for a device that sort of projects game footage onto all the walls of your room and effects and things. So if it's snowing in the game, it might look like it's snowing on the walls. Yeah, but this patent didn't have a name, and basically it came up and we all said, yeah, right, whatever, Microsoft. Except that they have actually been working on it, and they've released a proof of concept demo that actually ostensibly shows it working. At this stage, again, this might not be a viable product. This might just be Microsoft's R&D division just dicking around with stuff because that's what they're paid to do, and we like it when they do that. It's great to see Microsoft doing new stuff. So, yeah, we'll be keeping an eye out on that, and you never know, we might be one step closer to the gaming holodeck.
That'd be sweet.
One very small step.
One day. We'll probably be dead before that happens.
It's cheerful note there.
I know. Another slightly depressing note. Play.com just shutting down. They blamed it on a tax loophole. Well, shutting down as a retail business and then restarting as eBay.
They built themselves around the tax loophole, and now it's gone, and they're just becoming. It's a bit like eBay, but also sort of other companies, little companies, can also sell their games new on there as well if they want to.
I don't think the tax loopholes had that much to do with it. I think just mismanagement since it got taken over.
Yeah.
Has arguably been more of a factor, although it's difficult to know to what extent because we don't have any figures for that.
No, the tax loophole is the big deal though. Like that's why they built the freaking company in Jersey. Like that's the whole reason it's there. It was there. That's why they built it there. I mean, they founded their cornerstone on it because they could sell DVDs, shift DVDs in huge bulk and CDs because they were less than 15 quid and didn't have to pay any VAT.
That's why Amazon suddenly.
So
look, we've got Amazon Jersey now as well.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, Amazon Jersey. Let's have a piece of that. And now that's gone. Amazon are a big enough a company that they just don't care and probably don't pay a huge amount of tax anyway. And there's Play.com, who, they're built around it. So it's a shame to see them go. I've got fond memories of, well, not really fond memories, they're a shop, but fond memories of just paying very low prices for stuff from them. And in years past, their service has usually been pretty good, at least before the Rakuten buyout.
Yeah.
Rakuten.
I was waiting for that.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice, enjoyed that. Okay, to finish out because we've run out of time, but to finish up on a positive note, I think we can all agree.
THQ not being allowed to operate as a company anymore, and they're being flogged off piecemeal to EA. Yay. Oh wait, sorry, did you say a positive note?
No, it's a happy note. That's a happy note.
Right. Okay, go for what's your happy note then?
Right, we're not doing that. We're not EA bashing. Okay.
We're not EA bashing. If EA
EA
wants to buy some of their properties, then, all right. It's not as if EA have a history of running companies, developers into the ground. Oh. It's not as if EA do that. So have a history of doing that.
Never happened.
That's totally fine. But yeah, I must say, though, as much as we love the idea of THQ surviving with this sort of selling their assets very quickly to a holding company, it kind of defeats the purpose of going bankrupt. Like, you can't go bankrupt and just keep operating as normal as a company.
Yeah.
That's not how going bankrupt
That's not how it works.
You're either bankrupt or you're not bankrupt. You can't be bankrupt. Also, we're still developing games and getting paid salaries and everything's going to be fine. Anyway, so yeah, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to end on a little note of Halo 4. That we're having Spartan Ops is coming back. Woohoo!
Yeah, it is.
Specializations are finally coming in for the rest of the world. And Griffball.
Griffball is so great, and it's going to be an actual playlist, at least for a week or two. Hopefully it'll be as popular as SWAT, and they'll just decide to keep it in. Or, I don't know, here's a thought, just keep all of them in every time they add one, and let us play what we want. That might be a plan.
That'd be nice.
Why don't you just do that? That might be an idea. But yeah, that's happening, and the Majestic map pack will be coming out in late February. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the Crimson map pack, so yeah, more of that, please.
Yeah.
More insane achievements as well.
And we'll be seeing you guys on Spartan Ops Day when it kicks off again.
We will.
Yes.
For more hunter punting joy.
Well,
Hunters Puntus indeed.
Hunters Puntus, yo.
And on that note, I think we're done for the day.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Huzzah! We'll catch you next time, guys. Blah, that was shit. All right, blah. Oh my God. What I meant to say is we'll catch you tomorrow for episode 1 of season 3 of the Pwnecast, where we look forward into 2013 with our scrutinizing gaze and just have a bit of a Pokemon loving for a bit.
We will. I can't wait.
It's going to be great. Cool. We'll catch you tomorrow, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, and Carl will rap. Carl will be rapping. Definitely stick around for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good. In fact, it's going to be great.
Well, being that you do have like an actual PhD in sick freestyle rap,
Def Jam rap.
You know what the secret is? It's because I did not forget about Dre.
No, you didn't.
Don't ever forget about Dre. And you'll be fine.